Hello and welcome to this special Christmas edition of Eye on Africa. We've prepared a range of feel-good and culturally significant reports as we approach the holiday season. Coming up, Congolese rumba wins UNESCO World Heritage status. Our correspondents meet the people keeping the tradition alive in Kinshasa. Also entering UNESCO's Intangible Heritage list, an ancestral Moroccan horse performance. Fantasia riders flaunt their traditional clothes and their riding skills. And we take you to Cairo's Christmas market, where people of all faiths drop by to check out the lights, do some shopping, and most of all, get in the Christmas spirit. We start the show with some exciting news for music lovers. Congolese rumba joins Jamaica's reggae and the Dominican Republic's merengue on UNESCO's list of cultural heritage. Though the modern rumba was born in Cuba, it has its roots in Central Africa. Our correspondents in Kinshasa went to meet those who are keeping traditional Congolese rumba alive.
At 77, Cuban has lost none of his skills. Back in the 60s, he would play this song alongside Tabule Rochereau, one of the legends of Congolese rumba. Cuban was then the lead guitarist in the African Fiesta Orchestra.
This is me performing with my friends. That's me right there.
In those years, the entire Congolese capital was vibrating to the rhythm of rumba.
Back then, there were concerts almost every day, from Monday to Monday, and people would come in large numbers because there weren't many bands at the time. And this was the only form of entertainment. Those who had a band were the ones attracting the public.
Derived from Kumba, a naval dance from Central Africa, rumba was born on Cuban soil and returned to Congo in the 1940s. In 1960, it became the anthem of independence and went on to inspire hundreds of artists over the decades. In this cultural center in Kinshasa, musicians come to learn about its secrets.
This is what traditional rumba sounds like. Rumba has a history. So you can't make real rumba if you don't take inspiration from the old rumba. As a young musician, if you understand what rumba is about, then you can also create other genres.
A bridge between past and present. For this historian, rumba has a unique place in Congolese history.
Rumba is, so to speak, a thread that connects us all. It binds us as a nation. Wherever you go in the Democratic Republic of Congo, rumba is always a common theme.
A common theme and now a universal treasure. Rumba will continue to make people dance on both banks of the Congo River for a long time to come.
International recognition also goes to an ancient Moroccan horse performance. The UN's cultural agency adds Tubarida, also known as Fantasia, to its list of intangible heritage. The equestrian art form dates back to the 16th century. It's a simulation of military parades with gunfire and traditional clothes. Laurent Berstecker takes a look for us.
The spectacle takes the breath away. Hundreds of men in traditional jalabas charging full speed on powerful stallions while brandishing and firing their rifles. This ancestral parade, known as Tburida, was officially recognized by UNESCO as part of humanity's intangible cultural heritage, much to the delight of many Moroccans.
ملي بدا التبوريده وحنا في هذا وهذا التراث غادي نخليوه ان شاء الله لوليداتنا ولحفايدنا وليدات وليداتنا.
Dating back to the 16th century, Tburida is a simulation of traditional military parades and cavalry charges. Once reserved to men, it's now open to women and teenagers, and regularly features in various cultural and religious celebrations. And it's not just about the horses, as it crystallizes many aspects of Morocco's traditions and heritage.
هو عنصر غني في جانب مادي الصناعة التقليدية المرتبطة بالتبوريدة اللباس والسرج وكل المستلزمات التي يتم إعدادها في إطار التحضير يعني الفرس والفارس.
Tbourida is also considered a sport in Morocco. The country holds yearly competitions where the riders are judged on their clothing style, horse riding skills, and dexterity with rifles.
Here in Paris, one museum is showcasing the African philosophy of Ubuntu to the public. You might have heard of it from famous proponents such as Nelson Mandela or Desmond Tutu. Ubuntu is hard to translate, but it relates to a sense of collective humanity and harmony. To help visitors understand, the Palais de Tokyo has invited artists to reflect on the concept. Julien Sauvager and Charles Pellegrin report.
How can we rekindle our sense of common humanity? This unfortunate timeless quandary is the foundation of Ubuntu, and the question that was posed to the more than 20 non-Western artists presented by the Palais de Tokyo.
Actually, artists aren't here to bring us answers. They're here to help us think about the world differently, to open up our imaginations to other ways of thinking, like Ubuntu, which could maybe help us imagine a different future.
Nolan Oswald Dennis is one of those people who likes pushing boundaries, tracing them with his own footsteps, and in the process appropriate and reinvent a space that's been rocked by colonization.
It's a map of places that exist but don't exist at the same time. Dreams, fantasies, political mythologies. It's a map of Africa that doesn't exist yet. And it's painted on the floor. It invites you to walk, to be a part of it. And the more people walk across it, the more it changes.
With Ubuntu, we can also reimagine the role of women in society. Through the works of Colombian artist Daniel Otero Torres, depictions of Amazon warriors of all stripes who were ignored in a history written and told by men. A choice also made by Turia Magadlela when she asks of visitors to walk into this tent made of hundreds of women's tights, each and every piece telling an original story, but weaved together in a collective female history of humanity.
Every single woman in our continent should be represented somehow. If you look at the finer details of the work, sometimes you see people's names, sometimes you see the companies' names that made the paintings. So I don't take out any of that detail.
Every piece, every artist brings their own vision of Ubuntu, leading to an experience with an abundance of perspectives as diverse as humanity itself.
To Benin next, where Christmas lights aren't the only signs of the end-of-year celebrations. Children wearing masks go from door to door, putting on musical performances for their neighbours. It's a part of the Caleta tradition, a custom that dates back to freed Afro-Brazilian slaves from the 19th century. France 24's Emmanuel Soji followed a group of Caleta kids to find out more.
During the last days of December, after school, thousands of children from southern Benin create their own Christmas magic in a place with limited access. Inside, they perpetuate a 2-century-old practice.
The Caleta cannot dress on his own. Someone has to help him.
No one should recognize the person under the Caleta.
Caleta masks arrived in Benin with the return of freed Afro-Brazilian slaves in the 19th century.
During slavery, slaves didn't have time to rejoice. One day a master organized a feast and told his subjects to parade. A slave had the idea of making a mask representing a wild animal.
For 17 years, Wilfried Hunje has been promoting a Caleta festival in Uidad in order to restore the mask to its Afro-Brazilian authenticity.
Here, a child has made this mask with the head of a dog to explain that the master is a dog.
Today's masks are far from what they represented during slavery, no longer a means to ridicule slave owners or express the wearer's anger. They're mainly an opportunity for children to party while making some money.
It's Christmas, and children whose parents cannot afford Christmas gifts, they get organized, they go out on the streets and try to obtain small coins from the population in order to buy themselves presents.
Since 1996, all primary school children have been learning the art of making a calenta mask. It helps to develop the creativity while keeping the tradition alive.
And finally, families in Egypt are preparing for the holiday season. Some visited Cairo's Christmas market to pick up last-minute gifts and decorations. Muslims and Christians alike enjoying the lights and atmosphere at the annual bazaar.
The streets of Cairo lighting up to the magic of Christmas. Young couples, families, and wide-eyed children were getting into the holiday spirit as they strolled through a flurry of decorated trees, colorful lights, and bespectacled Santas.
We are here to take photos of all these lovely decorations, buy everything we need for Christmas to make the children happy, and enjoy this wonderful atmosphere.
Much like the rest of the world, Egyptian Catholics celebrate Christmas on December 25th. But the vast majority of the country's Christian community is made up of Coptic Orthodox. For them, Christmas falls on January 7th. They also have some unique traditions, including a 40-day fast in the run-up to Christmas Eve. Despite these different customs, the holiday remains largely secular in Egypt, and everyone is welcome to partake in the celebrations.
Christians and Muslims all celebrate Christmas. It's an event that shows our unity, just like Ramadan, when we are very happy to share the festivities with Muslims.
Earlier this week, Egypt's main Islamic legal institution issued an official fatwa allowing Muslims to celebrate Christmas and New Year's Eve, a clarification that's sure to spread more holiday cheers in one of the rare countries where Christmas happens twice a year.
That's it for tonight's show. Happy holidays from everyone on the Eye on Africa team.